This is a Ben Frank Connection presentation.
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on?
What's up?
BFC
What's up?
in the house.
Yep.
What's up? So, I am your host, the captain. I'm joined by my co-host, as always, Parmesan.
Yep.
And ladies and gentlemen, today we are joined by our fellow BFC member, ABJ, here to rock the awards show with us. And,
We're doing something a little bit.
I want to clear up any clarification that's out there. Hawthorne, had his topic on your show of
Right.
of birds.
Yeah, right.
It means Ben Frank Connection. I don't want anyone else getting any weird ideas of what BFC stands for us three. You know what I mean? It's Ben Frank Connection.
Ben Frank Connection.
It certainly is.
That's amazing.
It's not a website acronym. It just means Ben Frank Connection. Yeah.
Listen, I'm glad you cleared that up.
I'm glad that was cleared up. I'm glad that was ordered away.
I just don't want to disappoint anybody. You know what I
Especially
mean?
after Hawthorne's episode.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no need to disappoint any high expectations. All right.
Yeah.
So as we
set
bring
our
in-
bar low and then perform high. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yes.
So as we ring in the new year, we decided to do something a little bit different because I feel like everyone at this point knows year-end awards. So Ralph and I decided we were going to do year beginning awards. Do something. We're going to flip the script BFC style.
That is correct.
And do it a little bit differently, a little swap. See how the year starts, and then we'll just go from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're gonna call our shots. We're gonna see
pretty
what
much.
we think.
Pretty
we think
much.
who's gonna dominate 2024 and either be right and look amazing
Or be wrong.
completely wrong. Yes.
I will say this much. I refuse to guarantee anything because, as we know, anytime I guarantee something on this show, it does not happen. So
Except
for two.
ABJ's on the episode, so it might come true now if you say it while he's here.
I'm
I said
over
Punk.
100.
I said Punk, and I said Adam Cole is the devil.
Yeah,
I'm
you
right,
did.
2 for
So,
2.
You
so
did.
just on that subject for a moment, you said Adam Cole, and I
Yes.
get that, and that was where they were building towards. But even though you knew it was going to be Adam Cole, were you disappointed that it was
Not
Adam
at
Cole?
all.
No, really,
Not
It's
at
like,
all.
I don't know. I would have liked it to have been a little less on the nose, maybe. I will say the big surprise of the whole thing was Wardlow. I don't think anybody saw that.
He surprised me
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I
that
was
was a
wrong on that
surprise.
prediction. I said Wardlow would end up joining Team MJF to help even the odds
Yeah.
against the Devils. But
Right.
Joe doesn't seem to. I think Joe got his title, and then
Yeah.
he showed clearly the Devils helped him, and he knew, but he took his title and went. He said, I'm not affiliated with you, and I skirted. And everyone's saying that MJF lost clean. No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't lose.
Adam Cole purposely took time
Yeah.
to find the ring so Joe could recover and get the choke.
Yep.
Like, and everyone's like, "Well, MJF." It looked like it was a big surprise. I'm like, "No,
No.
Joe." Like, the whole story is MJF is beat down. He's hurt.
Yep.
His shoulder. He's working
He's
injured.
messed up.
He's
Yeah.
defending 2 sets of titles, one and both of them by himself. Like he hit the end of the world.
Yeah.
He hit the end of the road. He had
Yep.
nothing else he could do. The only thing that
was
he
empty.
had that would have gave him the opportunity to beat Joe was Adam Cole. That's why he brought it into the ring. He needed the power of his best friend to conquer this and go into 2024 and rest up. And his friend betrayed him. It was a great story.
It was.
Yeah, great story. Absolutely.
I don't know if I'm more excited for this Adam Cole faction or if I'm more excited for Samoa Joe as champ, because that has been a long time coming, and I think
Absolutely
he's going to have
deserves it.
That's a whole other story too.
Run.
He was fired from WWE, said he would never be world champion material. Yep. They wouldn't put the title on him. They said he was washed up, and the guy's like, I can still do this.
Yeah.
Like, I love the pictures online of him in the raincoat from WrestleMania, like standing out in the rain.
From like then to now,
this is what they thought of him. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, he was a commentator. They thought he was done and washed up. It's sad. It was crazy, but like
it was.
Yeah. It's I'm pumped. I'm pumped for the year, and everyone's seen this good guy Adam Cole and buddy Adam Cole and comedy Adam Cole, and people forgot like he's just as good as a heel. He's just as good as a microphone. He in the last 10 years when you have the Shield, right, and the Shield was fun.
Yeah, they're fun,
but the Undisputed Era were a bunch of undersized guys who dominated a company and made it believable. Right. Adam Cole's a good leader of a faction. Everyone's like, well, I don't want to see him do that anymore. That's his bread and butter.
Yeah, that's his thing. Exactly.
It's perfect. Well, I think you said it best during the World's End watch along the other night. You were like, everybody keeps saying that, like MJF's my scumbag. You forget what a scumbag Adam Cole is.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Said it best. Yeah.
Adam Cole kind of put a hint out there early on when he hugged him.
Yeah,
he hugged him, but he took the knife back stab.
Yes, that was such a great moment.
Yeah,
like it's those little things that now.
That's a Mega Powers moment where Hogan accidentally touches her butt. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Lust in your eyes, I see it.
It's so great when you get to the end of the story and then you look at those little things and you're like, man.
And then all the people who criticized it look stupid.
Yeah, right.
Let wrestling stories play out.
Yes.
All right. So now that we got that out of the way, because I definitely wanted to bring that up, but now that we got that out of the way, I think it's time to get into our awards here.
Yes.
And so as Parmesan said, we're doing this a little different this year. Some year beginning awards. So let's start at the top. Let's start with. Male wrestler that we are most interested in seeing this year.
Are we going to do this like round robin, or how are we going to do this?
So I kind of did it a little bit like we did on our show, where I have 3 written down, but I have my top pick.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But I don't know how much time we have, and there is 3 of us, so I'll defer to you guys, see how you guys do it, and then if I have to skip stuff, I will. But if I think it's a good talking point, I'll bring it up.
Listen, we're here. This is the ceremony. This may go. Who knows?
I got reasons for all of mine, so I definitely want to get into a little bit of a discussion. So Sean, why don't you start us off with male?
Okay. My male, I literally said this off camera. I'll say it again. I changed mine to be the not so obvious choice. Mm-hmm. Thank God. But I'm most interested in seeing what Darius Carter can do next year. He's been killing it this year on the indie scene. He's been crushing it. He's just an amazing talent, and I cannot wait to see what 2024 has in store for Darius Carter.
Starting off with the indie scene, I like it. Darius is insanely talented. I've personally worked with him on multiple levels. He's everything you would want in a professional wrestler, in a human being,
absolutely,
and as a locker room leader. I know I'm kind of pulling back the curtain a little bit because he's a giant heel scumbag, but backstage, man, he's so giving, and he has no problem inserting his knowledge into you and trying to make you better, whether you're a commentator or a cameraman or a professional wrestler or a referee. He's just a wealth of knowledge, and it's crazy because we call it the Darius effect. Other talent have said this, where it's backstage talking and you're in the locker room and people just circle around him because they want to hear what he has to say.
Yeah.
He is him, Darius Carter.
And I know you're pulling the curtain back a little bit, but it's great. Like when you talk about somebody that does all those things backstage and then can go out and be that heel that everybody hates.
Yeah,
it shows
he's such a good
their
heel.
Ability to perform in any kind of role.
Yeah, but I feel like that's like the one trope is that I think anybody who's in real life the nicest person could be the best heel on camera. They can bring that side out of them like really easily. Yeah, Adam Cole.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, ABJ, you're up. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with who I think is one of the most anticipated guys of the year. I'll go right up top. I'll lead with my number one. I'm excited to see what they do with Swerve this year. I think this is going to be Swerve's year. Mm-hmm. But I'm pumped to see what they do with Swerve. The guy's red hot right now. I think he's the next. I think this whole year is his buildup, like they did MJF before he hit the World Championship. And I think there's two guys that are going to have that storyline this year, and both of them are in AEW. And I think it's going to be Swerve, and I think it's going to be Daniel Garcia.
Oh yeah, dude, I love Danny Garcia. I love this whole sports entertainer or wrestler. He's still conflicted, but like he still does the thrust hips in the ring. I love it. I love all of it. Yep. It's so good.
Yeah, I'll reserve my comments about Swerve for later because I've got some stuff to say about him later. But you know, I think I think they're doing just an amazing build up with him. You see when you see the minute he comes out, you see the connection between him and the crowd, and that's so important.
That song, man. That song, I listened to it on the way to work.
But it's more than just the song, and it's more than just the dance. The dance and the song just amplify it. But his ability, he said it best on his interview with Van Fleet. He's like, what are you channeling? He's like, I'm channeling Denzel and Demolition Man. Like, that's the heel I want to be. Yeah, I don't want to be a thug. I want to be just a feared heel. I want where I'm unpredictable. I can be smiling in your face but shooting you in the back of the head the next. And that's exactly what Swerve Strickland is right now. His look, absolutely. The bags under his eyes, the blood, the grill, like he's an imposing.
He's just gritty
right now.
He's just gritty.
Yeah, gritty's a great word. Yep.
So my take for male I'm most interested in seeing really comes from my lack of interest in Roman Reigns. And to be honest, so hear me out. Roman Reigns and the fact that I think that we now all realize that they should have made the switch with Cody when they had the opportunity. And I think that the storyline has gotten so sort of watered down, I think, to a point that it's losing its steam. And one of the things I think that really came from that is now we have interest in other people who are longtime champions, specifically Gunther. And that's who I'm most interested in seeing, because WrestleMania 40 is going to be a big moment for him. He's either going to lose that title to somebody or he's going to keep that title. And I think no matter what happens, I think what happens next for Gunther after WrestleMania 40 is going to be an amazing story, because if he drops the IC title at Mania, the only place for him to go is up. So whoever walks out of Mania with the world titles, he's going after one of them. So I think either way, whether he's continuing this Intercontinental legacy or he's going after one of the world titles, I think 2024 is going to be like an amazing year for him. Like, this Intercontinental title so far has been the build-up for him, but his run for a main title is going to be what's really going to make him, like, quote unquote, a made man in this business.
I have a 2024 prediction revolving around Gunther.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Shoot.
I don't know if it happens at Mania or if it happens at Berlin, but I think Gunther retires a wrestler this year.
Oh, really?
I think he retires the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar.
Oh, that's a good call.
Because I think if he beats Lesnar as an IC champ or without an IC champ, I think it makes him more credible than he goes after the champion.
Absolutely.
100% correct.
You want to talk about making a guy who is already a star into a legendary superstar that we'll talk about forever, have him go clean over Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Yep.
Seriously. And that's brilliant if they did that in Berlin. Could you imagine, like, you think the crowd was crazy in Puerto Rico for Backlash? Forget it. That place would explode.
If you're going to do international shows, you cannot do what you did at Clash of Castle and have Drew go under and then sing a song at the end. Backlash taught you. If Backlash taught WWE anything, is you rock with the hometown boy.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
Because you ruined Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Even this heel, not heel turn thing is just, I'm just out of it. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Real quick, just to kind of add to this too, it was kind of one of my runner-up, because I want to stick in the WWE vein where I'm just so uninterested in WWE for the longest time, and now I think my lack of interest with WWE 100% comes down to I didn't have faith or trust in WWE. Because it's like, this is what WWE clearly should be doing, but they're holding on to Vince's ideas and they're out of touch. And it was ruining the company. And people had all these great ideas, and Vince would let them go to a hair, just enough for the fans to be interested, and then Vince would rip it up, throw it away, and do his own thing, and it sucked.
Yep.
And that and it made me lose faith in WWE. Like, oh, LA Knight is getting popular and his merch sales are going. I'm like, yeah, but they're never gonna put him over because it's not in the books. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna be the number one mid-carder of the roster. Like they're never gonna put him to that next level. But one of the things that makes me excited is that freedom of WWE. But one of the names that has me excited to go back to WWE because of the matchup possibilities and the storylines and everything they could do with him is CM Punk returning.
Right. Sure. That was going to be my answer before I changed it.
Yeah.
Because that was going to be like the obvious answer. I'm like CM Punk's back, so yes.
I think
of course
it's obvious, but it's for some people like who just completely checked out of WWE because they're tired of not seeing a champion. They're tired of Seth working as a real champion but not being treated as one. Right. And everything else underneath that is just we're going to push the Judgment Day, but they're a dominant faction, but they're not the Bloodline. Like everything is like. You can clearly see the glass ceiling in WWE, and it's Roman, and everyone's underneath it, and it's hard to take it seriously. Yeah. But when a Punk shows up, it's like, wait a second. Like, Cody even showed that he's clearly under that glass ceiling. Yeah. But when returning CM Punk, you're like, it's hard to put him under that. You know what I mean? Like, he's already walking in the door, and he's the new glass ceiling.
Yep.
So it's interesting to see the dynamic change in the company.
So along those lines, and the fact that, you had this deep mistrust for WWE, which I think a lot of people had. I think a lot of people felt like, things were just getting stale because they were just hanging on. Do you see any real change? Do you see, like, leading into the WrestleMania season and leading into
I'll get into that with a later category.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I don't want to bury the lead.
No, I gotcha.
Understand.
Right. Excellent. So... let's move on to female that we're most interested in seeing, and ABJ, why don't you start us off?
This one is I feel like I might have been stealing something from somebody here. I think it's pretty obvious of who my pick is going to be. It's clearly Timeless Tony Storm.
That was my pick too. Yep, absolutely. That was my pick too. Absolutely. That was my pick. Yep.
Timeless Tony Storm is the answer. If you are not excited for her in 2024 with what she's doing with this character, and honestly, I think the character is going to lead up to a possible return, and I think they're going to clash. And I'll even kind of throw out my secondary pick here. I'm leaning towards AEW on this whole roster, but I want to see what a returning Jamie Hayter or a returning Britt Baker do, because I think it only makes sense that Tony Storm's going to rise to a top, and there's really no one in the company right now who looks like it's on Tony's level, and it has to be a returning superstar, and it's either Britt or it's either Jamie. I just hope Jamie does not fall underneath Britt Baker again.
Right. I agree to that.
Sean, what do you got?
I already said it. Tony Storm, man, she's timeless.
Did you like the black?
Yeah, I was into it. Yeah, she's ever since she started this character, it's just been better and better every week, and she just puts her everything into this character, and you can see it as she's having fun doing it. She's just totally in her character, and I love the fact that even when she's not backstage, when they have her out, it's always black and white. Even when she's on commentary, when they pan to commentary, she's in black and white, and I love that they go that little extra step farther to make it that good.
And what's also cool about it too is she's doing the old school timeless female, but she also still has an edge to her. Yeah, and I'm not trying to be like putting curse words out there, but like during the press conference, she's dropping F-bombs.
Oh yeah,
she's so she still has an edge to her too.
Yep.
And
listen,
like her
if I was
gimmick,
Wendy Richter, I'd be scared.
Oh yeah,
that was a great line. She had everyone on the edge of her seat saying Sasha. She's like, Wendy Richter, I'm gonna fuck you up. Like, it's so good. But like her t-shirt says chin up, tits out. Like,
chin up, tits
that's
out.
not a timeless classic woman. Like, so she's taking that character but modernizing it and making it like, I can still be edgy and sexy, and I can have a foul mouth because I'm a crazy, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I like it. The lipstick smeared halfway through the match, but then she kept the smeared lipstick for the press conference
the entire time.
Look
I love
out
it.
for the shoe.
I love it.
So good. She's killing it.
So for my pick, I did not pick Tony Storm because I think she's talented. No, I'm kidding. I did pick Toni Storm. And the reason I picked Toni Storm is that I feel like Toni Storm has the ability and the talent to become the Charlotte Flair of AEW. I think she's moving right down that direction where, every time she's on screen, every time she does something, it's just a whole nother level. It's a different level than everyone else. And I feel like, she's starting to get the recognition for that. It didn't come immediately. People were interested to see where it went, but she has just been killing it week in and week out. Everything she does is absolutely gold. Honestly, the media scrum could just be her. I'd be
it's just
fine
the whole
with
time.
that.
I would watch the whole time.
Yeah. So, she's definitely she's above everyone else in ways that people are not going to be able to catch up to her in 2024. I don't think. As long as she stays healthy, everything is good.
Yep.
Like 2024 should be the year of Toni Storm. Easily.
Yeah, absolutely.
She to just become that must see TV. Like MJF is your must see TV in AEW. Yeah, and I think going in the next year it could easily be Toni Storm.
I will say I think an interesting runner-up to this category, and this goes back to somebody you were talking about during the World's End watch-along as well. I think Willow Nightingale is going to be interesting to see what happens with her in 2024. I think she is probably one of the most underrated talents, as far as the main the main companies go right now, and she's just got such an upside to her, and I like your thoughts about what's happening with her and where she's going to go, because I do think you're right. I think she's going to end up with Julia Hart at some point. I think that they don't do that stuff for nothing.
Right. Yeah, I think the layers to that too is like you look at Willow's run, and if you have IWTV, the Life of series on IWTV is chef's kiss. There hasn't been a bad one. Please go watch them. The one with Willow is powerful. I literally just got goosebumps thinking about it, like where she hurt her neck and she thought she was done forever, and then comes back a year later, goes back to Psycho Circus. Then Eddie Kingston shouts her out, and she's like, I'm at a point in my career, because this is IWTV. She's not signed yet. And she's in a car talking, and she's like, I think I'm at a point right now where, like, Eddie Kingston just shouted me out. I'm getting some time on AEW, but, like, I'm not signed. I really don't know what's going to happen. Like, if something doesn't happen soon, I think I might be done. Like, I think I might have to look in a different direction.
Wow.
And now she goes from that to she wins an Owen Hart Cup. Asterisk possibly with Sasha getting hurt, but she wins the first ever New Japan Strong Women's Championship. She comes back to AEW, or she goes back to ROH and puts on probably one of the best female matches to exist with Athena. She gave Jade her best matches during her title run. Willow has always been a good, I'm going to make you look better because I'm a good opponent for you. I know her and Chris kind of got a little sloppy at the end there, but what I'm trying to express to people during that pay-per-view is they push such a fast pace, that whole match, and such a strong pace that by the end of it, they were legit exhausted. So I didn't get mad about a drop power bomb because she couldn't pick up a really strong. She's not picking up Riho. You know what I mean? She's picking up Chris Statlander, who is muscle. And they're exhausted. They beat the garbage out of each other. So it didn't bother me at that finish because it looked like two exhausted opponents going out there fighting each other. She's taken the women's division to a different level. The way she conducts herself, the way she acts in the ring, she looks like a believable girl who I mean, I watched her at LVAC break Tracy Hot Sauce Williams' orbital because she's no joke.
Jesus,
you know what I mean? Like Willow can throw down. You know, she's good. Yeah. She's very good.
And she is such a nice person. Like
there
are great people to meet in this business, and she is one of them. She works very hard, and she's thankful for every opportunity she gets. She's a good person to be around in this business.
Yeah. If you see her live, when even on an independent level, I can definitely say it. I don't know how much of it carries over to the AEW side because it's a much bigger arena. And I'm not saying this to sound like spooky or into that, but I think energy is a powerful thing, and I think it's a real thing.
Sure.
If you've ever seen Willow live on an independent level, when she comes out and she smiles, she takes up the room. And
absolutely.
And when I say that's a real thing. Like. and that's something I've asked other people who've seen her live. Her energy, her aura, whatever you want to call it, metaphysical, spooky, and you know what I mean? But it's a real thing for Willow Nightingale.
Right.
When you are in her presence, you cannot feel sad. She's contagious in a good way. Like, she has a strong energy about her, and I think it's only going to get bigger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm going to start us off with tag teams.
Okay.
Yikes. Before we get into this, man, was 2023 a rough year for tag teams?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Most tag teams this year were forced into trios or went a trio route, and then the tag team route became let's put people together to make tag teams.
Yeah,
we've had really good things come out of that, but when it comes to like established tag teams, a lot of them fell off the map this year.
Right. Let's hope that trend stops this year.
Listen, if we had to go through that crappy year for tag teams to get MJF and Adam Cole's theme, I'm okay.
Such a good theme.
I agree.
Such a
Best
good
song in
theme.
wrestling.
All right, so the tag team that I am most interested in seeing in 2024 is the Young Bucks, because I think that by the end of 2024 we will see the Young Bucks out of AEW and doing something else. That's my hot take.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if they're
there you go.
I don't know if they're going to go back to the Indies. I don't know if they're going to go back to New Japan, but I think we're going to, because I get the feeling that I get the feeling that the Elite are kind of running their course with AEW. I think things are not as
kosher.
That's a great word.
Behind the scenes as they used to be, and I think that the Bucks are going to end up somewhere else. So I'm interested to see what happens to the Bucks in 2024, because and honestly, I said this when they were going through their matches with FTR. They're in these matches with FTR, and everybody's talking about the greatest tag team of all time, and I don't think the Young Bucks can even really technically be considered in that until they have a decent run in WWE. I'm sorry. For me, I just don't see it, and I feel like I think they're going to end up somewhere else this year. So I'm interested to see what happens.
Here's one thing that I kind of want to maybe shine a light on when it comes to the tag team division AEW. When the Bucks are not involved in it, it seems like the rest of the tag team division has to be turned down. Like, they're not allowed to get as much.
Do as much, right?
Yeah, and one of the things that kind of showed that for me is when the Bucks were not involved in the tag team division because they were doing trios. Right. It almost like they had to turn FTR down. Like, they weren't like if FTR was allowed to be FTR, it had to be an ROH. It couldn't have been on AEW. And and a part of me was like, a part of my wrestling controversy, our conspiracy corner was like, are the Bucks trying to hold everybody back because they kind of have a little bit of egos? And then everything was kind of going down with everything. And then you kind of hear about backstage, you watch the way they conduct themselves. And it's just like, they might be more of the problem than people thought they were. You know what I mean? I think they're insanely talented, and I'm thankful they helped create AEW, but it's but the writing on the wall with some of that is kind of scary.
Moving on could be better for everybody in the long run.
Yeah. Right. The problem is AEW now is in bed with so many people. It's like, if you leave AEW, it's not like you could just jump to Japan.
Right.
Because they're kind of in bed.
Yeah. They're with them. Yeah.
Like, it's either go Impact or WWE. Like, because even the indie scene, like, you go back to the indie scene, most independent wrestling fans are AEW fans. A lot of independent fans, like, they come to shows to see if who's the former WWE guy that showed up that day, but most diehard independent fans don't watch WWE. They only stick with the AEW New Japan side. And so it's kind of weird to see how it would play out.
Right. You think if the Bucks left AEW, Triple H would take a chance? You think he'd be
not with Punk there?
No. Not with
Punk there. Yeah.
Right. Nope. Yeah. Don't want any of that juju on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Sean,
I guess I'll take up tag team.
Sure.
I've been thinking about this one for a lot, all weekend, but I really am super excited and hoping, as long as everyone stays healthy, that Top Flight finally gets their due. I think those two have been a great tag team for a long time now. Even when they first started in AEW, but between unfortunate injuries back and forth, and everything else, we didn't get a chance to fully see them fleshed out. And I'm hoping that next year or this year, because we're in January, that it's fleshed out and that they get a really good push and really get, a spotlight on them because they're a great tag team.
I think they're going to go more the trios route, but I love where you're going with it. I think they'll be trios champions this year.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I think they're going to keep Action because Action kind of flip flop between both of them. When one was hurt, he filled in, and instead of throwing Action to the wolves, they're like, no, he's part of our team. He's trios. Yep. When he was thrown in, they're like, oh, it was two brothers. Now it's this dude we've never seen before.
Right.
Action knows these guys personally, and he's friends with them. So when he fit in perfectly, and his style's so good. And then they're like, no, we can't just throw this dude to the wolves. We're a trio now.
Good. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's top flight. Yeah, I love it.
He is top flight. I've always loved top flight. I've always loved their look. Their entrance to me was always cool. They're both, again, they're insanely talented, and so is Action Andretti. So I can see where you're going with the trios belt, but I want to see them win the tag team belt because they definitely deserve it in my eyes.
Yeah, I think whatever direction they go is going to make the division stronger. I think that would be a great team to see. Get a nice maybe trios run, and with the titles, and then who knows from there. But yeah,
and you want to talk about a team that could be the next Young Bucks. If as long as they're not held down, they could be that team and go crazy and do all those crazy spots and moves and matches and all that stuff if they're let to set free.
Yeah. I have one for AEW, and then I because WB and AEW's tag team division was so lackluster, I've jumped ship, and I kind of look at a different company now when it comes to tag team wrestling. Okay. But the one I'm looking forward to the most on the AEW side is the Guns. I think the Guns, from the second they came out to Mini Men by 50 Cent.
It was so good.
And then they joined Bullet Club. They joined Bullet Club Gold, and you're thinking to yourself, all right, you're going to go with Jay White, and crap, I just had a brain fart. Juice Robinson, you're going to be buried, and they belong.
No, not at all. Yeah, I
think the Guns really worked this hard this year. I think they broke the stigma of their dad. I think they they said, "Dad, go with the elite."
Go over there.
They claimed,
you don't even make that connection anymore. You don't even think about it.
Yeah,
but I will say this: I think the Guns are going to be a team that's going to be groomed and primed in AEW, and I think they jump ship. I think they want to be WWE kids. I think they fit the WWE style a lot. I think they would fit the WWE style better. But I think they're going to be a team that's going to really shine this year. But the other two I'm going to go with is our current tag team champions over on the Impact side. And when I say current tag team champions, I don't just mean one set. I mean both. The men's tag teams and the women's tag teams. ABC with Chris Bay and Ace Austin is absolutely fun to watch. It's like watching Circus Olay. But also they can punch you in the mouth. They're not just flippy. Like Ace Austin's a flippy high flyer. But the guy's built like a brick wall. And then you got MK Ultra,
Quadzilla over
there, and Killer. But like that, two great fun tag teams in Impact Wrestling, man. Now that it's switching over to TNA in the beginning of the new year, at $5 a month on YouTube. If you get 4 pay-per-views, you go watch it live or watch it post. If you don't have Access TV and you're on YouTube right now, dude, it's a subscription button. It's cost you $5.
Yep.
Give TNA a shot this year going in. They have a young roster, and I think they're going to earn your respect this season.
Right.
Awesome. Well, that directly leads us into our next category here, which is promotion we'd most like to see in 2024. So, ABJ, why don't you start us off with that?
I'm locked in with AEW. Unless AEW, I know a lot of people are hating it, and I it's hard to defend, and I'm not even going to sit there and justify it and fight with people over it.
There's no point.
Yeah, it's just a waste of time for everybody. But I'm an AEW guy. I love AEW. I love the roster. I love the story. I love what's happening there. I don't care how much hate it gets. It's what I like to watch. It is what it is. But that doesn't mean I'm anti the other side. I think people get so upset trying to defend what they like that they start hating the other side. I don't do that. I'm excited for WWE. I'm excited for when these storylines end and Triple H can finally go into full booking mode, and it's his company and his stories and the way he wants to do it, and he allows other people to have creative control and they have input, and it's not just go knock on Vince's office, he'll entertain you and then go away and it's going to be my story anyway. Triple H lets people flow. If you miss NXT Black and Gold, that could be coming back, but on the main roster level. If you miss takeovers, that could be coming back on the main roster level.
So good.
WWE is exciting under Triple H going in 2024 after I would say after Mania. And we can get shades of that tonight. Oh, I know we're pre-recorded, but tonight is day one.
Day one.
Right.
We can get a real good idea of what Triple H going forward. Like need, if you're branding it, this is the brand new year, new me. This could be WWE showing this is what we're gonna do. Start going forward.
Show it off. Yeah.
This start showing that off.
Yeah, dude. This could be their week to literally like show off with. All right, you want to watch WWE in a new year? This is what we have, and they just display their offerings.
And then the other one, I'll just kind of piggyback on what I said earlier. I really think you should give TNA Wrestling a shot this year under their new banner and what they got there going on. Like I know it's not on TV and you have to do an extra step, but if you're already on YouTube already, it's not that hard of a stretch.
Right. Yeah. That's my pick.
That's my pick as well.
That was my pick. Was TNA. We are in unison here. TNA, same as Storm. We are in unison. TNA. I don't know. I love TNA before. I've followed them since like the very beginning. At this point, and of course, every business is going to have their ups and downs. Whatever WWE, AEW, WCW, but I follow them through, like I always do. I don't skip seasons. I don't skip a year. So, and I think the last few years with Impact, they've really built up like a rapport between their talent, their shows, their storylines are getting better. Like it's just becoming a really good show to watch. And it's one of those shows where how Raw when you watch 3 hours it feels like it's dragging. When you watch Impact show, those 2 hours go by so fast.
Yep.
So fast, and it's a good 2 hours. Not like that was dumb. No, it was a good 2 hour wrestling show. So I cannot wait to see what they do back under the TNA banner, under that whole thing. I can't wait to see who they have signed, because they have a big signing. They said that they're going to announce at Hard to Kill. Who could it be? We'll find out. I'm just excited for them. They have such a roster, like you said, of talent that people need to know about, and I'm excited for them.
And there's a lot of people on the table going into 2024 that are looking for jobs, and there's a lot of really good upcoming independent stars in 2024.
Yeah, and I didn't pick TNA because I don't want to see other things. I like, again, I'm in the same boat. I've been bored with WWE for a while now. I'm just, and AEW, you talk about like, if you like NXT Black and Gold, or you miss the takeovers, like I get my fix from AEW. Like AEW is fun, like that used to be, but TNA is trying to take Impact and make it bigger and better. They're really trying to up their game here, and I think in 2024, I think they're probably going to be the most, exciting product to see where it goes. Yeah, because AEW and WWE are already at a level where you're expecting X, Y, and Z from them, but this is a whole new ball game for TNA. It seems like they're really trying to go out there and improve on everything, and so I think it'll be exciting to see exactly how they do that.
If I'm not mistaken, I think next year they're going to try and branch out and do more stadium shows rather than just their spot.
Yeah, they've talked about doing bigger shows, bigger arenas, and things like that. Which, if you watch Impact Wrestling, sometimes it can be hard to watch because you're watching this product, in a tiny little arena.
Yeah, a very small arena.
Yourself, they could be doing so much better. They could be doing bigger arenas, but
I think the tiny arena is good. Sorry to cut you off, but I think that's what makes NXT special, is because that NXT audience doesn't move. It's there all the time.
Right.
Yeah,
they're invested in the characters, so you feed off of what the people who are there every single week, who go to every taping, who are diehard fans, who love that product, and you feed off them to kind of be like, oh, I'm into that because they're into that. You know what I mean? Like, Chase U doesn't work if it's a traveling thing because you look for the Chase U section. You know what I mean? I think if Impact adapts that, I think that works.
Yeah, because I don't think I get that feeling from an Impact show now. Like they're small arenas. I don't get that feeling, but I think that they could establish a much more hardcore rabid fan base.
Right.
I think some of the moves they're making.
maybe to backtrack too, when we go back to men to watch for the year, if you're looking for a reason for the men's division, for a reason to watch Impact Wrestling, first off, seek what he's doing on the independent scene, because he's doing so much work there that I think it justifies enough for him to be like, oh, he's signed by Impact, you should watch him here as well. Speedball Mike Bailey.
Oh, absolutely. He's such an amazing
When you bring
talent.
in Will Ospreay into your company and you have the roster you already have there, and you look and go, Speedball, it's your match. That means something.
Dude. So good. Yeah.
Like,
that match was so good too. That match was
he might be primed for the world championship.
It's possible. If you're watching this and you're just like Mike Bailey, who stop what you're doing and go find everything you can Mike Bailey, seriously, because
research it.
You have no idea what this guy can do. You have no idea how good this guy is. It's insane sometimes to watch what he does.
So if Okada wrestles in Vegas January 14th, they didn't announce his opponent yet,
right?
If it's Speedball Mike Bailey,
oh God,
which I don't think is out of the realm of possibility.
Not at all.
So when you go to an independent show and you see, like, why does this dude always get the name that comes in? Because they're grooming that guy for a reason.
Right.
They want you to be like, yo, this guy just beat this guy who used to be on TV. This is what that's what Impact is kind of showing with Speedball Mike Bailey. And if that's the route they're going, sign me up.
Oh, listen, that's match of the year contender on paper before it even happens.
Right.
You look at match of the year for 2023, and it's like Japan, WWE, Japan, TNA Wrestling, Speedball Mike Bailey versus Ospreay.
Yep,
like,
there it is.
When has Impact Wrestling been even in the talks for match of the year since 2023?
And that's a great start leading into what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
That puts eyes on the product in a way that focuses on the wrestling instead of anything else. And
100%.
It's so good. Yeah.
And I'm going to segue that into the next topic, which is TV show we're most interested in. And I'm just going to say, again, TNA Impact. I'm excited to see what they have in store. So I literally went back to back because as much as I'm excited to see the promotion, I'm excited to see where TNA's Impact Wrestling goes from here. It's no longer Impact Wrestling, it's TNA's Impact Wrestling. So I'm excited to see where that goes and what they do. I'm hoping that maybe they'll go back to live shows, and that would be kind of fun. As much as it's fun to be taped because they can do more months out of it being taped. I think them going live would be a fun idea.
I feel like the roster overall loves the idea of being taped,
right?
Because they go there for a month, they tape for a month, and then they can live their lives. Like that's a great way to like.
Oh yeah,
everything doesn't have to be done the WWE way, right?
Right.
I like how Impact's like, yo, come, let's go for a month or two. Let's film for the season.
Yep.
When a pay-per-view comes, you're fresh. You come work your pay-per-view. The only thing you might lose is maybe your feel for your character and your feuds, because if you take a couple weeks off and then you do a pay-per-view and you're like, wait, where was I at in that feud? You know what I mean? So that might be a thing, but as long as if they keep acting coaches or whatever it might be to keep that feud going, you're fine. But it also lets Impact go out and their talent go out in the independent scene and the cons, wave that Impact banner, and then more people go, I want to watch that because that guy was really nice when I met him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a cool way of doing business. I'm into it. But it's not my pick.
What's your
AEW.
pick?
I want AEW.
AEW.
Just give everyone. Listen, I don't. During the week, man, like I do my live streams now, and that's something I'm really enjoy doing. And I am falling more in love with TNA. I'm sorry, with NXT. I'm falling in love more with Raw again and SmackDown. But I look forward to Wednesday nights. I love my Wednesday nights.
So Dynamite is your favorite.
Dynamite,
of the week.
yeah. Rampage is getting a little better, but I don't like that I have to do back-to-back wrestling shows on a Friday. Yeah. And I like Collision as a show, but I hate the fact it's on Saturdays. Like
that's hard. I like the feel of Collision.
Yeah, me too.
It feels like a very cohesive and different show.
It feels like its own show.
Yeah, I definitely like that. But it's not my pick either. My pick is Monday Night Raw, solely for the fact that I am interested to see what happens with Monday Night Raw, because this is, we're looking at possible history here. We're looking at, Monday Night Raw going into a future where not only could they be moved off of Monday night for,
which would be
the first
wild.
time in history, but who knows where they could go? Could you imagine, Monday Night Raw? Now, I know you're going to roll your eyes when I say this, but could you imagine Monday Night Raw going streaming? Like, it's not that far out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, it's not out of the realm because that's kind of what the path is now. I think not that live shows and live TV isn't making money, but everyone now is doing streaming. So why wouldn't you just have your show live on a streaming service and then you could watch it right afterwards on a replay, than having to wait every day to watch it live on, cable, which not everyone uses anymore. Not everyone uses cable anymore. Cable, I think, is bygone past, service because everyone now uses streaming services.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I don't. The
Monday
only
Night Raw on Amazon Prime.
yeah, the only
dude, why
reason
not? Why
The
not?
only reason I have cable is because my wife works for the cable company, or else we'd
there you go.
doing streaming.
Oh, we love cable. Cable's great. You know what I mean? Everyone go out and buy your cable television. Ben Frank Connect says it.
Ben
here.
Frank Connect says so.
We officially endorse cable television.
We don't want anyone losing their jobs. You know what I mean?
No, but I think that like, where does Monday Night Raw end up, and on what night of the week does it end
Where
up?
does
is gonna
AEW
be
end up?
a huge story,
Right.
Well, and
They're
because but I think they all directly relate to each other.
Yeah.
I think this, because there's talks between Warner and WWE. So how does that impact AEW? How does Punk's involvement affect all of this? Because obviously that's a big thing. So I don't know. It's the television landscape, and this is something I'll talk about later, but the television landscape this year is going to be really interesting to see how everything, shakes out when all the deals are made. So, All right. Well, let's move on from TV show to pay-per-view, or as it be, premium live event, which I think is ridiculous.
I hate that name. I hate that name so much. I still hate it. I get it, but I hate it. Ooh.
Well, I already know your two answers. Your guys are going the same route.
No, you
yes,
no,
I do.
you don't. No, you don't.
I 100% know your answer.
All right, smart ass.
All right, Ralph, go first.
Yo, I'm looking forward to the Great American Bash on NXT.
You're a liar. You're a liar, sir.
Yeah, but I also already know your answer, so it doesn't matter.
Yes.
I think
I'm going WrestleMania 40 for a number of reasons.
I agree.
I'm going to be there, but two, again, this is a big number for WrestleMania. This is 40. It's finally back in Philly after all this time. They're outdoors at the Link. I think it's going to be a big show. I think it's going to be an impressive show. I don't say that WrestleMania 40 is my pick because I'm not interested in what other shows are going to do.
Right.
I just think this one, I think this one's going to be big. I think this one's going to be special. I think we're going to see some moments at this one that, might be looked at for quite some time as special. Not that we won't see that elsewhere, but I feel like this is one of the big ones for them.
Right.
So,
the only reason I'm not excited for WrestleMania 40 is because I'm broke, I have no car, and I probably won't be there. And my life sucks. And only because my pick is All In London.
There you go.
I went last year, and the idea of the wrestling show was fun, and I love Wembley Stadium. Ever since I've been a kid, my dad was a DJ, and he got me into music.
Oh, nice.
And everything about music is just like Queen in Wembley Stadium. The only concert I own on Blu-ray is Wembley Stadium Foo Fighters show because it's one of the most magical concerts you'll ever watch. Like Wembley Stadium to me is just like a beacon of like music and entertainment. And I don't even watch half the weird London sports you guys got going on over there on your side of the pond because like that obviously to them that's like their Super Bowl stadium when it comes to their sports. But to me it's the music side, the entertainment side. And when I went there, I didn't just fall in love with Wembley. Did I meet one of my best friends, Raz, who we met from two different sides of the world and met there. It became, for me, that's going to be my mania every year. I'm going to try to make it to London every single year because it's not just meeting Raz. I have two really good people who mean the world to me. My friend Jackie and her husband and my buddy James who lives out there. Like I go get to see friends and I love that country. It's a beautiful country. It's fun to walk around. once again, I love pop culture and entertainment and music. All of my favorite bands and musicians and like the British rock scene and the punk scene and like it's there. I love that country and I look forward to go. I don't care if you put 2 crash test dummies in the main event. I will find a way to go to London
and
at least once a year now.
And now that you know what chips are.
Yeah, now that I'm dude, I thought I got upcharged for free. I went and I was like, what do you want? I'm like, burger. And like, do you want chips with it? And I was like, yeah, because in America, you go to
chips
a pub, they might actually serve you potato chips with your burger.
Right.
And they brought fries out. I was like, woo, your boy got upgraded. And they're like, no, that's chips. And I was like, oh.
Damn.
But no, I just look forward to it because it's more than just actually it's not more than wrestling. It's because of wrestling. Wrestling is the reason I want to go to this country. Wrestling is the reason why me and this guy met for the first time ever was in this country because of professional wrestling. The idea of wrestling bringing me from the worst time in my life mentally to going to a different country and getting to reset myself and meeting new people and experiencing new culture. And that's all because of professional wrestling. And now I want to make that a go-to spot for me every year.
Right.
So let me ask you, when you met that guy, did you look at him and say, hold on a minute, and walk away?
No, I didn't, because it was so when I came out of the tunnel of the boarding pass, he's just standing there wearing his I Heart ABJ shirt, and I was like,
oh boy,
I'm gonna hug him.
Nice.
All right, so quote for next time,
wear my merch, yeah.
If it ever happens where I need to see you, I'll just wear the merch, and that's
that helps out. Yeah.
I think it'll be interesting every year to see how All In tries to, top the year before, because
my bucket list now. Yeah. My bucket list now is I want to make it a thing where I grow my brand and I grow my content, and I want to make it a big deal, possibly getting followers and listeners from UK.
Right.
And if I go there, my plan is I try to go there the week before. So I get there on a Monday. The show's not till Sunday. So I have 7 days to hang out and explore London and do things.
Right.
The show's on a Sunday. I fly home Monday, get home Tuesday, and then I'm back home. But like, my goal is I want to, if I keep doing this every year, I want to do commentary in a wrestling company.
Hell yeah.
In London. Like, if an independent wrestling company is like, yo, this dude, I want independent talent to be excited I'm there and grow my brand, not just in America, but in the UK. And that's all the power of wrestling. That's like my goal going into 2024.
We gotta get your brand out, because Progress is going to be in Philly WrestleMania week. So you gotta get your brand out there.
Fun fact, I know someone who works for Progress, and when I went over to London, I was comped ticket to go to the Progress Defy show. So I walked in, my name was on the list. They let me in for free, and I got to watch 2 amazing shows. So that connection's kind of already there. And I just gotta build my brand up enough that it makes sense for some jabroni to walk in and sit at a table. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, Sean.
Yes.
Are you gonna? What show are you most excited for this year? Did you?
I already said Mania.
Did you? All right.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking so long about All In, I wasn't sure.
Me and you had the same idea, so I just.
If I had to pick a show though, I love Rumble every year.
It's same, man. It's a great show too.
I love Rumble, but I'm concerned that I like the surprise stuff at the Rumble. So
same.
When there's like one surprise, then I get let down. I'm like, I still like the Rumble. But,
I've never been to a WWE pay-per-view, but if I had to pick, and I know this is gonna be controversial as hell.
Oh no!
I would pick a Rumble before I'd pick a Mania.
Wow.
I've been to Mania twice, but that definitely is like on my bucket.
2 days of Mania sounds exhausting.
One day Mania is exhausting. When I went to Mania 35, that was like an 8-hour, 9-hour show, and I was like, I don't know why I'm still here.
If I go to Mania weekend, I'm telling you now, I would go to Mania weekend, but it wouldn't be for WWE. I'd be there for all the indie shows.
Right.
That's what I did. WrestleMania 29. That's what I did. I got an Airbnb in Jersey City, and I just did indie shows.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. It's a fun weekend though. Like, with all the indie people that are in the area, it's fun to be around.
Just give me my GCW fix, main baby.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Right.
All right, let's move on to the feud we're most looking forward to this year. So, Sean, why don't you start us off?
I I don't know if you want to call mine a hot take. I don't know if it's gonna happen. Maybe it's more of a want to happen than that it's going to happen. But I would love, only because they didn't have the chance to do it in AEW, and I'm hoping that they have a chance to do it in WWE, and that's CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but
I definitely see they.
But I would really love to have to get a chance to see it, because I think as Punk was coming into AEW, Cody was already gone or was on his way out, so they didn't have a chance to cross that path and do that match. But I would love to see them run that back, or at least try to even make it happen in WWE. Whether that what crosses paths with their own stories together and it crosses like that or something, I want to see it happen.
It would be interesting to see how WWE handles a feud like that. I think it would be fun to see what they do with that. Yeah, that's definitely a good pick. ABJ, what do you got?
I have a legit one and then a fantasy one.
Okay.
My legit one is I want to see the bidding war of 2024.
Yes,
it's going to be a fun story. I just give me MJF.
Yes.
Obviously, the bidding war of 2024 will probably also tie into the devil, because I don't think that's going to go away anytime soon.
Right.
But here's my fantasy one. A contract comes up in 2024.
Okay.
A few contracts come up in 2024, and this might lead to something later on in the show, so I won't go too much into it.
Okay.
But I think it's a possibility that KO looks at that glass ceiling in WWE and says, I've done everything I have to do here. I'm Grand Slam champion. I've done everything I can do. I got my big paycheck. When I threatened to leave my last contract, I got less years on my contract and more money.
Right.
And I think he cashed in a lot of that money, and I think he's at a point in his career now where he goes, do I sit in WWE and I become a really top guy mid-carder who will probably never get handed a world championship again? I got my match with Stone Cold Steve Austin. What else can I do?
Right.
Punk is here. Cody's here. Roman's here. I'm kind of known I'm like a fourth, fifth guy. I jump over. I do a couple years in AEW. I leave on a good term. Maybe WWE brings me back for a Hall of Fame thing later on. But at least if I go to WWE for a couple years, I get some fun. And that's not just saying I want a WWE guy to lose. I just think Kevin at this point in time, I think a breath of fresh air for Kevin for 3 or 4 years is fun for Kevin.
Yeah.
And I want Kevin Owens versus feuding with Adam Cole.
Oh, yeah. They have such history, too, that they can do all of the callbacks in the world for their history, because if there's one thing that I think I enjoy about AEW, not that I'm taking sides because I never do, but with AEW, their storylines weave through companies.
Yes.
Like, they bring storylines from other companies into them, so there's no, inconsistent stories. It's all just one big flow. Like, when Aleister Black messed up his eye, he just followed that right into AEW, and it became a thing flowing throughout his character. Like, I love that stuff. So,
yeah, that's good. So in thinking about it, I probably have a fantasy one as well. But the feud I'm really looking forward to, and we alluded to it earlier, I think Gunther and Brock Lesnar are on a collision course. It's going to happen eventually, and I'm just excited to see what happens leading up to it, what happens after it. I think that Brock Lesnar is, and it's funny the way that Gunther put it, because he talks about, like, I'm the end boss to a lot of people, but Brock Lesnar is the end boss to me. And I thought that was brilliantly stated, because that's the legit stepping stone to a legacy in this business. And I think just sitting down and watching Gunther cleanly beat Brock Lesnar is going to be an amazing
that
moment.
would be,
Gunther retires the guy who retires Taker.
That's huge.
That would be insanity. If I had to pick a fantasy one, and this was almost my pick, and this is just personally for me, I want to see Punk and Stone Cold. Just because I just don't want to see the build.
It might not be fantasy though. Supposedly both sides are in talks.
It's possible. I mean,
Stone Cold has said that he's got another match in him. He said that
he can still go.
The storyline is good. He's and I think that could be. I mean, how much more relevant do you get? He wore the Stone Cold shirt during the pipe bomb. Like, it's a thing. So I would be very excited.
I'll wait till
to see
Sean says his in case I don't want to steal it on him. Go ahead. What's your pick, Sean?
For what? I already said my feud.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, he took
I'm on medication
I'm
right
not
now.
the only one that's getting wrapped up in conversations here.
Yeah. I mean, it's an obvious one, but it's really not. It's one that's really looking forward to. I mean, the CM Punk Seth Rollins feud.
Right. That one. Yeah. That one. Yeah.
Me too.
I was not expecting Rollins to come out so soon. I thought that they were gonna like hold off for a few more weeks and then reveal Rollins and Punk, but they went right to it, to it,
Which
and it
is
was
good.
so good. Yeah. Let's move on to titles.
Yes. What
Titles.
Let's talk about titles.
Titles.
The title that I am most excited to see what happens with this year, I guess, is the Intercontinental title, because
Okay.
if we've built this up, I honestly at this point I don't even care who takes Roman down. Like, I'm so tired of that, but at the same time, as I said earlier, that's like put so much more stock and joy into like watching this Gunther thing.
Right.
And it's unfathomable at this point to think about who could be the one to take him out, because he has been so dominant and so good, and he's gone up and down the gamut of different types of performers. I mean, Chad Gable's an amazing performer, and he got in there and just, went to town with him. And I'm having a hard time imagining anybody taking that title off him, but I know it has to happen because there are bigger things in store for him. I think that this Intercontinental title run has put him in a place where there's nowhere else to go but a world title run. So to me, it's kind of, I have a hard time trying to figure out who's going to be the one to take it from him.
Right.
But I do think like Brock Lesnar is the big thing this year. That's like, that's where we're heading. But I don't see Brock Lesnar being the one to do it.
Do you think if he retires Lesnar, do you think he lays the title down and says, I just, like, if he wins like a Rumble or a contract type situation, he goes, I'm on to, like, he does a Joe situation where he says,
like Samoa Joe.
Oh, right.
I think that there's a possibility,
because you build him up so high that if he takes a loss but then beats, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think he has to lose the title soon,
right?
Because he has to lose it early in the year. So if you build to a Germany or a Mania, and he gets that match with Lesnar, it builds him back up. Because if you do it backwards and he goes into Lesnar with the title, beats Lesnar, and then like Dragon Lee beats him, right? It's like, wait a second, you know what I mean? Yeah.
So let's say they build him and Lesnar for Mania. Let's say that happens, and then he beats Lesnar, and then at the end of the show, whatever title he's going after, whoever wins the title. He comes out with the Intercontinental title, comes down to the ring, looks at it, says, I don't want this one, throws it off to the side and says, I want that one.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of great moments that they could do with that, but I think that's probably, they've booked themselves into a corner where I think that's the only legit way that they can see out of this, because I can't, you're right. I can't envision anybody like cleanly taking this title from him.
Right.
I have a fun idea of how he can lose it. Well, right now you're doing all that stuff where people are feuding with his cronies and stuff, so that could be a possibility if someone like swoops in and there's confusion and they get a roll up pin on Gunther or something like that. But I said this as a joke, but I also don't absolutely hate it. Where if someone's like trying to earn the respect of a stable, right? The big stable of the company is Judgment Day, and who can win the IC title and bring it to Judgment Day because you have to impress mommy, right? What if you give R-Truth one last run with a title?
Dude, we said that on the Punk special. We said that on the Punk special.
Yeah.
We said that. Yes.
I would be okay with that.
I would love to see that. Yes.
I would also be okay with Damian Priest cashing in on Gunther.
Yeah, because like if a Punk, I mean, if a R-Truth gets a win over Gunther, the crowd's still gonna love it because it's R-Truth.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And Gunther can just be like, I can't believe I let this idiot beat me.
Yep.
He's angry, and he's like, I'm done playing games. Like, now I'm going, like, you think you had Gunther strong before.
Right.
Now I'm pissed. And I'm not even worried about that. I did everything I can do with that title.
Yep.
Give me the beast.
Yeah, go off.
Listen, if Gunther, and I'm all for it, if Gunther loses the title to R-Truth, as soon as he loses that title, he needs to brutalize R-Truth to the point where R-Truth is off of TV for like 2 months. He needs to snap right there
Just
in the
lose
ring,
his mind.
put him through announce tables.
Or instead of even he beats up R-Truth, he beats the shit out of his friends, his
Oh yeah,
partners.
oh yeah, you can do
Where
that.
he's like he just decimates Imperium.
Just goes
he beats
off.
the garbage out of both of them, and he's
Right.
like, I'm sick of playing games.
Yep.
If I'm going to put gold around this waist again, I need to earn that. And what better way to do it is give me the beast. Give me the beast. You think
Give me Brock
he's
Lesnar.
a beast?
Right.
I'm pissed right now. You have seen the new side, and you give more of an edge to Gunther where he's enraged.
Right.
Yeah, there's literally 0% on God's green earth that's going to happen, but it would be amazing. if we were
WWE, I'm
booking
here.
it, would be amazing.
I'm here, baby. Just hire me, Trip. What's up, Trip?
All right, so the ABJ, what do you got for title? What do you?
Obviously the World Championship with Joe is exciting because I think the path to the world title to get to London's my mania,
Right.
where I do think Will Ospreay will walk out as the world champion. That's kind of my prediction. I kind of pathwayed it to be Swerve versus Ospreay for the world championship in London, which I think would be a banger match.
So good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I'm excited for that title to see how they play it out, because I don't think AEW is going to do long title runs. I think right now in the landscape of wrestling, long title runs are worn out.
They're done. They're done. I agree. Absolutely.
Well, and it's such a WWE thing now. Like
yes,
it's expected almost.
Well, I mean,
and when you have a roster so deep in AEW and people are criticizing you because their favorite guy's not getting a chance,
right?
You can say, "Oh, dude, our roster's so stacked. We have no idea who the champion can be from month to month because everyone is a champion deemable thing.
Is talented,
and maybe
exactly.
And then it makes your I don't know. I know that's a huge thing where that diminishes your title. No, it doesn't. It shows that you paid money to have a really good roster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
But also, I'm excited for the Orange Cassidy's title run. Like, I kind of want to see what he's going to do with that. I think it's fun that he's been the workhorse for that title, and he's making that title super relevant. And when someone finally does beat Orange Cassidy, because he beat Mox and because he's just fighting everybody for it, like, he's kind of legitimizing that title to be like an IC title.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
It's become like their workhorse belt over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John?
I'm excited to see where this new AEW belt that is going to be. Like, I don't know, because it is close to the Intercontinental Championship. It's just Continental. I mean, how close can you get to it being the same name? But I'm curious if they treat that as like the workhorse belt for them, or if it's just another belt that gets like only. I think would be cool as an idea that just came to my head is if that belt's only defended overseas. Like
I hate that.
Like it's an international title where you defend it in New Japan or where all over the place. Like you just defend it everywhere, and that would be a fun idea.
That's what I thought they were going to do with Orange Cassidy and let him tour the country and get his name out there because he's so polarizing.
Yeah,
but the pace that he put that title on of defending it almost every single week on TV.
Yeah.
I think if you just make that an international title at that point, I think you diminish it. I think whoever takes that title has to be like, I have to work. If I get this, I have to work.
Right.
I think he established that ground rules for that belt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That belt, without even changing hands as much, has become as relevant as the TNT title.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And that's saying something when you've got a company that's got so many titles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To see, titles that are becoming meaningful even though they're not the world title. That's a big deal. That shows, a lot about the roster.
Mm-hmm.
It shows a lot about how hard Orange Cassidy worked to make that title where it is.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. This if 2023 was anybody's year, I would say it's Orange Cassidy's year.
100%.
It's hard to say not to. I mean, 2024 2023 was a great year for a lot of people. Like MJF was huge this year, Punk was huge this year, Cassidy was huge this year, Athena was huge this year, Gunther was huge this year. It was a good year for a lot of solo guys.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
All right, so now it's time to get into some other type of opinions here.
Yes.
Rather than just what we're most interested in seeing. But we're going to start off with most likely to become world champion. And Sean, why don't you start us off?
Gunther. I think Gunther, by the end of next year, becomes world champion. And I think not Seth Rollins' belt, but I think he beats Roman Reigns. I think by having him beat Lesnar, that gives him that credibility that maybe he can be the one to dethrone Reigns. Because if he can beat Lesnar, he has the chance to beat Reigns.
Interesting.
I think it just goes up the ladder.
Yeah.
You beat Lesnar, you retire him, and then you go for the big guns. You go for Reigns.
Interesting. ABJ, what do you got?
Swerve.
I think Swerve will be a world champion this year. I think CM Punk will be a world champion this year.
Yeah.
And I think the story is not told at Mania. I think Roman retains.
Oh, wow.
I think Cody wants to do the hard time storyline so bad, and he's not drawing that sympathy that he needs. And I think in his brain, he wins the Rumble, he gets there, he loses again, and maybe you insert a Gunther to be the one to beat Roman.
Right.
Like he beats Lesnar, he beats Roman, and then Cody's the one who dethrones a Gunther.
Yeah, right. I mean, you could do that too. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's definitely something that could happen. I went with Swerve Strickland as well because I mean that guy. There's no denying the star power there. There's no denying that he is just he's gone up so many levels this year.
He will be the first Black World Heavyweight Champion in AEW.
There you go.
He will.
If he wins it.
Well,
yeah,
I don't see now that they've finally taken the belt off of MJF. I don't see how it doesn't happen. I think that again, you look at somebody like a Swerve Strickland who is just the star power is out there. Every time, like I said before, every time he walks out, you see that connection with the crowd, and talk about a workhorse. I mean, the guy's putting on bangers every time he's in the ring.
Every time, absolutely.
I'm not saying this to cause any stirrup or controversy, but it is something to bring into existence. Since the inception of the title in 2022, Samoa Joe is the first non-white guy to hold the world championship.
Wow.
And
wow.
It's all been white dudes.
There you go.
Samoa Joe is a Samoa. There's two Samoans.
There's
two
Joe.
Joes. There's two Joes. Samoan Joes who are world champions right now. But I think that's maybe a sign to come of what's to look forward to in AEW going forward. Maybe we get some representation at the world championship level. Another thing to look at for world champions is Triple H is not afraid to make international champions. Endeavor is a global brand.
Mm-hmm.
You may see. I mean, look at right now. We have an Asian world women's champion. We have. Diversity in the world championship picture is something to look forward to in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So moving on, we've got most likely to improve, and I'm afraid I'm going to have a controversial answer on this one, so I'll wait.
This is fun.
I don't know, but all right. ABJ, let's go with you first. What do you got?
I hate saying that both of these people are improving because I think they're very talented, but I think they will win more fans over and become more of a household name going into 2024.
Okay.
And in the light of that, we'll say they improved. I have two. I have a man and a woman, and they're both in the same company, and that's WWE.
Okay.
My number one for guys, Karrion Kross will turn it around in 2024.
Okay.
And I think for the women's side, I think she's really going to start to show herself off and maybe make a run for herself as a stronger competitor in 2024 in women's division. Zoe Starks.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, I think so far, I feel like Zoe Starks' experiment in the main roster has not gone that well. So I think that, with
you see who she's teaming with now?
Who is she teaming with now?
So if they win tonight, they are number one contenders for the world championship. Her and Shayna Baszler.
Oh
wow. Yeah, that could work. Yeah.
Yeah, up to this point, I
Indeed.
haven't really liked what they've done with her. I didn't really like the Trish Stratus stuff. I think that she was much better in NXT, but yeah, I mean this could be her year. That would be really interesting. I think that's a good teaming there.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the Karrion Kross pick too, because I think that there's only an upside for him. Like they don't. So many times they don't see these things and they don't see what they really have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they realize too how personable of a human being he is.
Yeah,
like you put him in on Good Morning America. Like he's a guy you can put in the late night spot and have him sit and do an interview. He is insanely charismatic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's everything you want to be the representation of a character in your company. Because he could be dark and spooky, but then he can pull the like executive thing and like sit down and still be kind of spooky because of his look and his presence, but give an insightful interview.
Right.
He's very good. I think he's someone who I think you could build a company around. I think he's someone who's going to shine in 2024. At least I hope so.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, Sean, what do you got?
I can see him being Gunther.
Ooh.
What's a hot take?
I don't know if mine even qualifies. I'll say it anyway. Because she hasn't done anything to improve yet.
Oh, no.
But I think this could be her year to break out and show her stuff, and that's Jade Cargill. She was signed. They made some appearances, but now they're really letting her hone her craft and train with at the point. And when she's ready, I think she's gonna shine, and I think she's gonna kill it this year. I think.
You know who else I almost picked? Like kind of look at the NXT side of things. I think I'm going to keep calling him it because I'm still not used to his new name. But I think Pillman Jr. is going to be a big deal in NXT.
Lexus King.
And Lexus King. I think he's going to. I think he's going to become a staple in 2024 in NXT. And I think people are like, man, remember when he was like a jobber on AEW?
Right.
Yeah, I think it's very early for him yet, but I think the fact that they leaned so heavy into the promos that they did with him and then him just kind of distancing himself from Pillman, I think that shows that they have big plans for him.
He clearly looks bigger than everybody in NXT.
Yeah.
He's a big boy. Honestly, you know who else is really impressive in NXT? I've been calling them on the live streams Tatanka too, because there's two.
Oh, him, yeah, right.
But that Jim Thorpe or whatever his name is, like they're going with a Thorpe.
Right.
Dude, he's dude. Everything I loved about the Tonka, I like about this guy too. Like I like the look, and he's good in the ring. I like him.
Yeah,
I'll learn his name eventually, but for now, you're Tatanka too.
Now he's just Tatanka too. Yeah.
There's athletic Tatanka, and then there's beefy Tatanka.
That's
perfect.
So
that's funny.
when I was picking female, I was most interested in seeing. I had this thought about Toni Storm, and I had this thought about her becoming like the Charlotte Flair of AEW.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of torn between her and my pick for most likely to improve, because I feel like even though, again, we're talking about somebody that's very early in their career, I can see a trajectory where they become almost like the next Charlotte Flair in WWE. So my pick was Tiffany Stratton.
Oh, that's a good one too.
There's a huge upside to her.
Right.
There might be another sleeper when it comes to the Toni Storm thing in most improved. Mariah May might be something you look forward to.
We don't know what we're gonna see from her, but
Mariah May, the other I'm just gonna say, like, I'm not saying to be weird, but like the only characteristic I really know of her right now is because she wears short skirt and she's super busty. But the girl who's with Paige a lot right now,
right?
I mean, her look, if she can wrestle, look out, because she has the look. She has everything else is going to make her popular in professional wrestling. She's literally the 90s diva who's the TNA girl. And I'm saying TNA for the exact reasons I'm saying TNA.
Yeah, right.
But if she can also work, that girl's going to be, she'll be the mommy of AEW in no time. And then there's another girl who's been kind of floating around there with, She has the charisma of like the valet right now, but she's with Marina Shafir.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? She's like another blonde-haired girl that's kind of like making an appearance there.
I think I've seen her, but I don't know.
There's three girls in AEW that are kind of under the radar, and they're playing that almost rebel level, where she's with Britt, but they have the potential to maybe grow. They could be like the swerves of the three swerve girls, but Mariah May might be something to look out for in 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of names that are just kind of like on the cusp there that could really turn out to be something special.
Yeah.
So this is a topic that we got from ABJ.
Yes.
His addition to our list here, and I like this one because I think it's exactly the kind of thing that we're looking for in 2024, but most likely to be signed. So this is a really interesting one. So since it was your topic, why don't you start us off?
So I'm gonna go with I'm gonna say, because technically right now they are indie. The whole company, if you're a wrestler, you're an indie because you're an independent contractor. But I think the big name in 2024 that I think was gonna go out there and really make a name for himself and then come back and get signed, Mustafa Ali. I think he's going to be someone who's going to make a big wave for himself.
Right.
Yeah,
have you seen his photos online? He got huge.
Yeah,
he's training hard right now. He's training hard. His arms are the size of his head at this point. It's getting a little crazy.
The price of gas is up, but it doesn't matter for you know what I mean? But I ain't mad at him. But no, yeah, that he's going to be someone to look out for. I see. Here's the thing, man. The actual independent wrestling landscape, we're a little better than most because some people get in their little 25-mile bubble and they're like, this guy in my promotion should be on TV, and then you look at that guy and you're like, but is his buzz there? And then you get caught up because we're people who interview independent wrestlers and we're like, well, we really like this person, they should be signed.
Right.
So that's hard to really dive into. I have my list of people who I think should be there, but it's I don't want to put that pressure on them either. And then you say someone you don't think, you know what I mean? But Jordan Oliver.
Oh man.
I think Jordan Oliver is someone who will be signed in 2024. AEW kind of been hinting at copyright things with him and Nick Wayne's tag team name, possibly trying to make it their name at AEW, and then they gave up on the trademark.
You just really want them to make it in AEW as a team.
I do. Dude, people are hating on Nick Wayne right now because they're like, why is this young kid getting this opportunity and stuff like that? It's
he's
like
talented.
because you don't know how hard he's been working. Like,
right.
And then another name I'll even throw out there too, man, Griffin McCoy. That's another name out there too.
Yeah,
like Griffin McCoy,
good.
Jordan Oliver, and Nick Wayne have been and what's his name? From H2O. Not Matthews. Marshall? I'm having a brain fart. He's another GCW kid. But they've been backyarders since they're 13. Like, people were traveling. Like, Osprey was coming to their backyard feds to wrestle because they were that good.
Yeah.
But, like, if you put Nick Wayne and Jordan Oliver together, you don't get a Marty Shawn situation.
No.
You don't. You get two Shawns. But here's the real thing. You bring Nick Wayne and Jordan Oliver in AEW, and you tell a story that eventually gets Adam and Christian as a tag team again.
Yes.
And they pass the buck to two young kids who've known each other and been doing the travels together with a Nick Wayne and Jordan Oliver. You just created a new Edge and Christian.
Yep.
It's insane. And I'm going to go on a little segue here, but like you look at AEW as a young roster, and I was kind of talking about this on my stream, but you have a Billy Starks.
Yep.
You have a Julia Hart. You have a Nick Wayne. You bring in a Jordan Oliver. You have a Wheeler Yuta, a Daniel Garcia. Like, you have 7 people right there who are the future of professional wrestling all under your company. It's exciting. Yeah. It's exciting. And there's still more coming up. Like you have I'm going to put him out there, Rocket from H2O, who's everything about that guy is charismatic. He can flip, he can jump, he can tell stories. He has a great look. Like you see him smile, and he's another one. The ladies are going to love him. Rocket's up there. Hawthorne, you just had on the show.
Hawthorne.
That dude can do anything you ask of him, and his character work is good. You got a guy like up in the upstate New York, Joe Conway. I mean, we can be here all goddamn day with the names that are on the independent scene.
Right.
But it's nuts. But I'm going to stick with Mustafa Ali as my 1, and then Jordan Oliver is my number 2.
Cool.
Right on.
Good picks. Sean, what do you got?
Mine was the same as my male. Interested in seeing, and I think Darius Carter has the potential to be signed this year.
Yeah,
100%.
very talented.
100%. His talent alone, his heel work, his promos, his look, his in-ring work, everything about him, I can definitely see being on TV.
can I be realistic with Carter? One thing, and I hope this doesn't piss him off, but I'm gonna. but honestly, this is the type of journalist I want to be. I want to say I respect him, but I also want to say the one thing that I think might hinder him. If he goes to a WWE, he has to be rebranded.
Oh yeah.
Everything that makes Darius Carter special to us, if that gets stripped away, like on the independent scene, he's the guy.
Right.
But when he enters that next level, we know him as the guy, but the rest of the world doesn't.
Right.
Sure.
So how does Darius Carter, and I think he's talented enough to grow back, but is the machine willing to work with him to get there?
Yeah,
right.
That's a
you know what I
tough
mean?
call.
Yeah.
So like a Darius Carter, in our opinion, is the GOAT. Like he's good, but like size wise, he's an average size guy.
Yeah.
Charisma, he's through the roof, but you only get to show your charisma off if they let you.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if they Karrion Kross, charisma through the roof.
Oh yeah.
They're not letting them show it.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like you see Kross outside of that aspect, but also like if a Brian Cage shows up, oh, he's huge. That his physical appearance is going to be enough to get him to the next level.
Right.
So like that's where a Darius Carter would be interesting to see at that next level is will he grow? Because everything that we know and love about him, he would have to redo all of that once unless his stock as a wrestler blows up, that everyone knows who he is. So when he jumps the ship, we all buy into it and we're all subscribed to it.
Yeah.
But because even like you look at an Effie's popular amongst the independent scene. But if Effie showed up at NXT, they're gonna be like, who's this guy?
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just being realistic as a wrestling journalist.
Right.
It's very hard to make that transition from the independent scene to the major companies and really carry that steam with you because everything you do in the major companies has to be a product of what they want, and it's got.
And that's not everything I said is not a knock at Darius Carter. I love you. Please come on the podcast 2024. But that would be a question I ask him: is what would you do to get to that next level, and how would you get people to believe in you again? You know, you're literally going from I've worked all this here, now I have to do it all over. It's tough. It's a tough sell.
Yeah.
All right, so I had two thoughts, and these were two thoughts that immediately popped into my head when most likely to be signed was suggested. First one is Dolph Ziggler. He's going to be a major star somewhere.
Yeah,
because,
there you go.
Listen,
right?
You know, when you have something like that and you let it go, I mean, come on. He's proven over the years that he is a guy that is willing to be there and play his part in the company, no matter what that part is, and that coupled with his talent, he's gonna be a major star somewhere. That's absolutely for sure. I don't have any doubt of that. And then the other one that came up to mind was I think Julia's going to get signed by a major U.S. company.
Oh wow,
from Japan.
Okay.
Oh, you just made Kai in my Discord super happy.
Yeah, that's
honestly he's been saying when people say Stardom to me, I get skeeved out by it. Because everything I've ever seen of Stardom, like in the past, is like, and I'm not saying this to be funny or gross or anything, but like, it's 50% wrestling and it was 50% like weird kink. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it was,
Well, it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when I look at Julia, the girl you're saying, I looked at photos of her. She looks like someone who could walk in the door of a company, and we talk about a look, right?
Right.
She looks like she could beat Rhea tomorrow. She looks like she can. She can do damage.
Right, and that's the thing about places like Stardom, where you know you have that feel like you got, but then you have these people that are talented enough to rise above that, and people get eyes on Stardom, and they're able to pick these talents out, and I think there's going to be major interest for her this year from US
WWE
companies.
is supposedly very high on her.
There you go. There you go.
I think she could use a little more muscle mass. I'm just saying, and it's hard for a woman to do. So I'm not trying to put anything on her. Right. But her look, like I think when you vision Stardom, I think for the most part it's a Japanese company. You see Japanese stars, but you think of the Rihos and like the ones who are like 112 pounds, and they're it's like Japanese luchador, where it's very acrobatic and it's very flippy and submission, and then you look at a Julia and you're like, oh, she kind of has like a Like, I think she's half Japanese Italian, I think that she said, but she has like she's a very unique look.
Yeah, very unique.
And a build to her that like looks like she can go out there and legit beat someone's ass.
I could see WWE signing her and giving her the Jade Cargill treatment where she shows up and then they kind of keep her under wraps and work with her for months before they put her on TV. But
right.
I think by this time next year she'll be signed to a major US company.
Do you think there's anyone who was released from WWE who will come back under WWE's brand again before they even hit the independent scene, or only do like a couple appearances and get swooped back up by Triple H?
Ooh,
that wouldn't. I don't think that would be too surprising, because I feel like now that Triple H is taking over and Vince is basically out, I think people who got released have the opportunity to come back under Triple H's regime, and they'll want to come back to that rather than having to come back to Vince.
I think there's two guys or two people, but I'm going to put two together because I think they're tag team and they're going to do stuff on the independent scene as a tag team still, which I think is smart. Mm-hmm. But the Maximale Model guys, Mansoor and
Mansoor, I loved them, man. I
think they're going to show their worth on the independent scene and show their charisma and show their talent and show that people care about them, and I can see them coming back. And I'm curious to see what Elias does.
Oh yeah, Elias.
Another one who I think will be very scary. That once he hits the independent scene, if he even chooses to do wrestling, because I think his charisma's through the roof and I think his look is amazing. People have been counting him out, but this is a guy that like you can put on commercial. This is a guy that you can market. This is a guy that you can use, and he's very funny. He's someone who could probably transition into movies and stuff like that. Rick Boogs.
Oh yeah, right, absolutely.
People completely forgot he was released.
Yeah,
that guy's a mega star and insanely entertaining.
So good.
Elias is out there too. It's going to be fun to see.
It's a fun year for
I could see Shelton Benjamin coming back at some point. Just
people are clamoring for Shelton Benjamin to join the BCC.
That would make so much sense.
Shelton Benjamin in the Blackpool Combat Club.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be cool.
I agree.
I have a feeling that someday he'll get Hall of Fame someday.
Yeah,
right.
Maybe not soon, but I think he'll have one more shot in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a possible talk about re-signing thing. Does the biggest re-signing of the independents happen again in 2024? Does someone snatch up Matt Cardona and use him as a Matt Cardona?
I think.
Ooh.
Is Matt Cardona one of the first guys to leave WWE as a character, come back to WWE, but keep his independent status,
right,
and not become a Ziggler? I mean, not a Ziggler, a Zack Ryder.
Right. I think if they were to make him an offer to re-sign, I think the deal would be, I want my gimmick, not Zack Ryder.
There's no way.
That's essentially the rumor of what Sasha Banks is trying to do.
Yeah,
he does not want to come back as Sasha Banks.
He wants to come back as Mercedes Moné, right?
Yeah. I don't. He'd never come back as Zack Ryder. I don't see that happening. But
no,
I would not. That would not surprise me at all, because you have a guy like Triple H who obviously is now trying to buck the trend and do what the audience wants.
Yeah,
and I think if the money's right, Matt Cardona will go anywhere. And I don't say that as a bad thing.
No,
I just say that as like he realizes that again, stock has risen. So even
the girl he's been torn with, that's not Chelsea. The other one, like her stock is rising.
Oh, she's
great
too.
Everywhere.
She's great too. Yeah.
Here, did we talk about feuds already? Shit. Can I throw something out real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just because she's going to have her baby and I want her to come back sooner than later, Carmella. I need Carmella and Chelsea Green as friends, frenemies, whatever it takes. I need Chelsea Green and Carmella on the screen at the same time.
That'd be amazing. Absolutely.
Yeah, yes. And I need Corey Graves to be annoyed by Chelsea Green all the time.
I want Chelsea Green. I want Chelsea Green to be flirting with Corey Graves
the whole time.
I want him to have nothing to do with her. I want him to be so annoyed every time she comes out. And Carmella's like, "But she's my friend. She's so great." And Corey's like, "That's brilliant,
good.
though. I like that.
That's good.
That's really good."
I just thought of another one too to kind of backtrack. Female of 2024. I'm excited to see how the Bayley story turns out.
Oh yeah,
when Bayley gets taken out of judgment damage control, and will she come back as Hugger Bayley? There's a take that happened for Bailey on an episode of the podcast coming up soon. But their take, I don't want to say who said it or anything because I want people to see the episode, but their take was Bailey has been going through like age progression with her character. So when she was Hugger Bailey, she was like this little bubbly kid. Yep. And then this heel Bailey has been more like I'm a rebel. Like
and the angsty teenager.
Yeah,
the angsty teenager. And now like the next level's gonna be like adult focused Bailey. You know what I mean? Like that's his theory of Bailey's progression. But I think the day Bailey comes back as like maybe she doesn't come back as Hugger. But when Bailey comes back as that baby face, I think she's going to be a big thing to look out for in 2024 as well.
Right.
That's interesting. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see who she aligns herself with because she's obviously going to be, in opposition with Damage Control. So it'll be interesting to see who she aligns herself with.
That Monet signing would be huge. It'd be,
it would be huge.
You don't have Charlotte for 10 months.
Yeah.
So what if all this stuff about, WWE, the talks fell through, all this stuff. What if that's just a ruse for when Bailey finally gets kicked out of Damage Control and they're just waiting to surprise everybody with the return of Sasha? That would be something.
That'd be something. It would be.
And the tag team one of the tag teams that was a big problem for them was the Kabuki Warriors, and they're sitting right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Love it. All right, so
let's get into some trends.
We've got 2 left, and I'm very excited for these because these were 2 that I thought of, and I was like, I'm super excited to hear what people have to say about this. But we're going to start off with what do we think is one professional wrestling trend that will start in 2024? And I'm very excited for this. So, Sean, why don't you start us off?
Again, I don't know if mine qualifies, but I'm going to say anyway. Because it already has started. It's been going on since 2023.
Okay.
Well, even 2022, let's say that one. But I think we're going to see a lot more AEW, WWE, crossover signings left and right, back and forth, a lot of hopscotch over the next year of stars and talent going opposite directions and opposite places, I think you're going to see a lot more of that this year.
I hope it gets to it's going to kind of tie into mine. I won't say it yet, but just to say on the viewer trend, I think fans. I hope fans realize that's not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing at all. It's just
I think I hope it gets to a point where AEW and WWE maybe don't hate each other, or like they can be their rival. They can do what they want to do. Realize there's not enough space for both of them, but realize that like, hey, if MJF doesn't have anything planned for you for a year or two, or you have someone you're like, man, we love having you on the roster, but we just don't have nothing for you. Let them go.
Yeah.
And if the other company does, let them go make money and let them make art. Like Kevin Owens, if Kevin Owens jumps, it's not because he hates WWE.
No.
It's because he's done everything he can do there the past 10 years.
Yep.
His contract's up. Let him go make art somewhere else.
Yeah, creative reasoning has to be the top key here, and we have to get rid of the tribalism mentality.
That's my trend. Yeah. Tribalism, I hope tribalism goes away, but I really think in 2024 it's going to hit its fever pitch. I think it's going to get worse. Mm-hmm. I think it goes back and forth, and I agree. And I think tribalism's going to hit an all-time high ugly.
Yeah.
And I think hopefully once it hits its fever pitch, people get so annoyed with it, it reverts back to just not being a thing.
Right.
What is happening is that we're watching the Monday Night Wars without everybody being on Monday night.
Right.
People are getting into those mentalities again where it's like WWE and AEW, people can't see the forest from the trees, where they can't understand, like, I can like both of these and enjoy both of these. They are so stuck on this idea of, and I'm sure that a lot of it comes from people that went through the Monday Night Wars as well and really had to pick a side, where they're like, I can't just enjoy everything. Like, if I like WWE, that's got to be my thing. And in 2024, that's just not the case anymore. If the rise of independent companies, if the rise of streaming has taught us anything, it's that we can just love everything and just be fans of wrestling, and screw picking a side. There's no sides anymore. It's just let's enjoy what's out there.
Enjoy the art of wrestling wherever it is.
Yeah, and not Colt Cabana's Art of Wrestling, although I enjoy that.
But so I'm just gonna say both, and then you guys can say yours. So my trend, I think, will end isn't really even a trend. I'm opposite of what ABJ says, I think Reigns loses his belt this year, and that's it. It's done. Reigns is done. Reigns can go for a long break or whatever he plans on doing after he drops the belt, and then you finally give someone else that chance to shine. And I think also with that, the end. I think that kind of coincides with my friend. Really, is being the end of long-term reigns as champion. I think once Reigns loses the belt, any more long-term reigns, that's it. They
Oh my
end
god!
it
This
there.
whole time I have been using the wrong microphone source. I'm so sorry if I sounded like Dove.
I was gonna say something, but you were fine.
I kept coughing, and then I'm like, I still hear like, I'm so sorry. If I was coughing on the mic this whole time,
you're fine. You're good.
I've been hitting my mute switch, and I'm like, I'm a dick.
You're fine. No,
let's
you're
just do
good.
the whole show over. Rewrite.
No, you're good. But yeah,
All
no,
right,
I think
so-
once Reigns' belt reign ends, I think that'll be the end of the trend of long-term reigns.
Well, this trend ends. This is how ABJ sounds on my content, not like that other shitty
This trend
microphone.
ends.
They're like, yo, this guy's his camera quality is good. He's got some nice. He's killing it. But that microphone is
Who's this
dog
ABJ
shit.
guy? What's he doing?
The quality of
BFC who? BFC who?
Yes, the quality of ABJ's microphone on BFC podcasts does not necessarily
Reflect the ABJ podcast.
The ABJ podcast.
That's what I do when I come on this show. I give him that shitty mic. I'm so sorry, guys. Sorry for the listener. I hope it wasn't absolutely terrible.
No, you were fine.
Yeah. All right. So ABJ, what do you got for?
All right, my last one is kayfabe is reborn.
Yes.
Oh.
Please.
When
Yes.
I say this, I still think when I say kayfabe, I don't mean kayfabe in the sense of is Undertaker really a zombie?
Right.
You know what I mean? But I do think more. I think we'll find ways to like still support talent and understand their social media and their personal lives, because that's the world of celebrity entertainment, and wrestlers are going to go there, especially on a global brand. But I think they're figuring out ways that they can use the dirt sheets and swerve people and fake things and I think the way we've been kind of learning that kayfabe is not completely dead, MJF has revitalized it in a way by playing the dirt sheets and lying and putting things out there that are completely not true and living his life. And I think the bidding war of 2024 can be a way to kind of like show wrestling community that we can get kayfabe back in a little bit. Fix your mole problem in your companies and wrestling fans. You can help this trend too. Stop looking for spoilers. Like the new Marvel movies coming out. If you are going online to try to find out how the movie's going to end before you get to see it, you're ruining the product for yourself. So wrestling fans, treat wrestling. If you knew who was going to win the Super Bowl before the game played, would you watch it?
Yeah, exactly. Why would you watch it?
No, I'd
at
bet
that point?
some money. No.
I bet some money. Get some money out there.
Enjoy wrestling for the entertainment aspect, and stop trying to ruin wrestling on yourself.
Right.
And stop trying to book it the way you think it should be booked, and then when you don't get your way, you cry and say the product sucks. It's not. And if you want to have your own sandbox with your own action figures, then put your money where your mouth is and start your own wrestling promotion.
There you go.
Until then, enjoy what's on your screen. See what they do. If it sucks, it sucks. If it's good, it's good. But at least you as the fan can dictate that. Don't try to say what they should be doing.
Right.
Yes, as a 2-time Emmy-nominated award show host, I endorse that opinion. Did you have an ending trend?
Oh, that was mine. I just had kayfabe comes back.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. All right, so
all right, what's yours to close it out?
All right,
save the best for last.
The trend that I believe is going to start in 2024 is that I think we are going to see more traditional TV shows go streaming.
Oh, okay.
I think that streaming is going to become really a big focus in a lot of models. I think the bidding wars for the TV rights and things like that are really going to show that streaming is much more important as a model now for traditional wrestling television shows. So that's what I think is really going to start. And honestly, I think that traditional pay-per-view models are going to end. I think that people are going to get tired of paying $40 and $50 for a pay-per-view through a streaming service when they have things like the WWE Network or they have TNA on YouTube. And I feel like companies are going to start to realize that that's the way that they need to go if they really want to get numbers and get their product out there and seen. So yeah, those are my takes for 2024.
Right.
Last trend that I need from you guys going into 2024 is where's your chairs? Where's your chairs?
Mine's right behind me.
Listen,
we need to visually see it. And Captain, I just realized this. You look like you're doing this entire show inside of a coffin. I just look at that. It looks like you're like Beetlejuice. You're in a coffin.
I'm inside the coffin. Well, as I was listen, and that's crazy that you mentioned that, because as I was taking cough drops during the show, I was going to mention that I was doing the show literally sitting up in my deathbed. Here I am in a coffin.
Here I am.
My chair is not visible yet because I'm still working on. I'm going to get it mounted to the ceiling behind me so you can see it in all the shots. I might actually have it like in the ceiling so I can lower it down so it looks like it's sitting above me.
Nice.
Open.
That's pretty cool.
I'm
pretty
working
cool.
on that.
Just be careful, because if that chair falls on you, it will kill you.
Death.
It will hurt.
Well, Sean and I were talking about that before we started the recording, and I said to him, I was planning on getting my chair mounted on the ceiling, so I'm working on it.
Yeah,
I have two broken ones that I kind of want to take somewhere to like a craft person and see if they can like take them apart and use the wood to like make something else with it.
Oh,
that's
and
right.
then have like a piece of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Last trend.
Okay.
No.
The BFC
Yes.
is taking shit over in 2024.
You damn
yes,
right.
we are.
Hell yeah.
Hell
yeah.
You better watch out, man. There are plans in place. We are already looking at expansion ideas because we've got people out there that we think could really,
Be good members of the community. We want to.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We're not done. The BFC is going to have a few more podcasters that we're looking at. And there's criterias that you have to hit for us to keep an eye on. There's you don't have to have the best equipment, the best production, the best.
You don't even have to use the right mic source.
No, I did the whole show without it. I'm just glad my astute colleagues here didn't pick it up and I noticed it. I just didn't say anything. Harm over here. But no, I'll kind of tip my hat a little bit out there because I watched the independent contractor, the independent journalist scene. And the biggest thing that I will honestly say that will get you in is the way you conduct yourself. Listen, there's a way to be a wrestling journalist and say you're an independent wrestling fan but still make it only about yourself. Right. And then there's a way that you genuinely love the scene. And that's the big thing that's going to set you apart, and that I think that we are going to stand out when it comes to the BFC is we're going to show up at your event and it's not going to be we're here, honor us. No, we're here because we want to use our platform to grow your brand.
Right.
We want our platform to grow the independent talent. We're not trying to outbid the scene. And if we do grow bigger or more popular than the independent scene, it's not because we're there screaming or making it about ourselves. Right. It's because our content spoke for itself. Mm-hmm. And that's the type of content that contenters we want to be. And if you're going to join our connection, then that's what you have to be as well. Right. You have to be selfless, and it's about the art of wrestling and not about you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think for me going into 2024, looking at people that could possibly, join the connection, we're looking for people that are professionals. We're looking for people that take this seriously, that are putting the time and effort into making sure that your stuff looks good, because there's a lot of people out there that just don't put any time or effort into making sure that you look.
They buy too many of these fucking things and not put time into their product or what they do.
You're right.
Don't be calling out the bouts over there. Listen.
No.
You have a $400 microphone in front of your face.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, but
that wasn't a shot at you, Ralph. Your microphone's perfect.
my microphone is amazing.
Actually, yours is a Shure. Is that a Shure mic?
That is a Shure 85. Yep.
Yep. 100%.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Don't worry.
research.
Listen. My podcasting equipment is legit, pal. I'm
legit.
Yes.
Too legit to quit right here. Yeah.
I have a Zoom. I'm rocking a Zoom as well. I got a Zoom over here.
Nice. Oh, I love it.
No, there you go.
Got a Zoom.
It's the way to go, man. Zoom.
It is the way to go.
All right. So 2024 is definitely going to be the year of the BFC. We are going to be out there. We are going to be promoting independent wrestlers, promoting independent shows. We're going to be using what we do to help you promote what you do, because we love professional wrestling. We love being fans of indie wrestling. We love helping indie wrestlers. So it's going to be a big year for the BFC. Make sure you are following us. We've got the link tree down below. Linktree/Ben Frank Connection that gets you to all of our stuff. Please go on to YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channels, Opinion City and ABJ
Podcast.
ABJ is killing it with the watch-alongs. So if you are watching professional wrestling on a weeknight and you are not in one of the watch-alongs, what are you doing? Because it is such a good time. It is such a fun time. ABJ
and I open the door for people to come in and hang out too. So even you're not just someone who types in the thing. I put links out. If you have a phone, you can join from your phone and just come in for a couple minutes. Say, I love that match, or I'm excited about this.
Yeah,
tell your opinion, and then you're not there the whole show, but you bounce in and bounce out. It's like a virtual call-in.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun.
Yeah, please be following everything we do. We love doing this stuff. We love hanging out. We love talking about wrestling.
Yep.
Here's my secret plan. Here's my secret plan. Not whisper to you guys. My secret plan is I don't have a car, and I lost all my wrestling bookings because I don't have a car and I didn't have a job and all that stuff. So I'm kind of stuck in this house. So if I'm stuck in this house, mainstream wrestling is here for me, right? It's on every day of the week. So I'm going to use my growth of the mainstream wrestling to he's a SmackDown and Raw guy and AEW. but what's this new content he put out? This interview with Matt Mikowski. What is Matt Mikowski? And then I use the mainstream growth to boost up the independent wrestling scene.
Well,
don't tell anyone my plans.
All right. Since we're telling secret plans, I'll let this secret plan out of the bag. And this might be a secret to everybody yet, but we're going to start working on doing watch-alongs for old episodes of Velocity on the Peacock Network. So get ready for that coming soon.
Love that.
That's awesome.
We're gonna be the only content that streams NXT Level Up and old and main event shows too.
Oh, I wish that would be the best. All right. Well, guys, thanks for joining us for our year beginning awards. It's been a great show. It's been fun to talk about what we've been looking forward to in 2024. Hopefully, some of the stuff we talk about will actually happen. I won't guarantee any of it because then it won't. But
if I said it, it's going to happen.
Right.
See, that's that's not fair. We need to change those rules.
We need to change those rules.
Get on my level, Ralph.
All right. Well, listen. Sean, thanks for
I'm swinging
us.
the BFC over here, baby.
ABJ, thanks for joining us.
Got a big bridge for you, Ralph.
On your last official appearance, thanks for joining us. We'll see you again. Never. No, I'm kidding.
Actually, real quick, when Parm told me, the Hawthorne connection happened, I said, dude, he's gonna be a great guest. You're gonna love him. Please have him on. And you guys got it done. And I was told his topic. I was like, I know my friend. He's dead. The middle finger and penises are going to be said, guaranteed. Yeah. And I love how he dog walked you guys through that. Oh my God. It was in true thespian fashion.
It was a great interview.
It
was great.
He was like, Big Bird,
Free
Bird, Crows, and
Larry Bird,
and Larry Bird, and then he's like, cock. I'm like, got him.
No, it's probably my favorite moment of the Opinion City podcast so far.
Oh, I smelled it a mile away. I love that dude so much. If you haven't watched that episode, go back on Opinion City, watch it. J.S. Hawthorne is a gem, and he should be in everyone's household.
Yeah, that was definitely a classic interview. So, guys, so thanks for tuning in. Thanks for enjoying our award show. Go out and support everything we do.
Yes,
because we do it for you guys. And the Ben Frank Connection will see you again very soon.
Hey, thanks for watching this presentation. Like, share, and subscribe for more.